New studies are showing athletes, especially teenage athletes, might be paying a long-term price for the glory of playing under the Friday night lights. WOUB's Taylor Poole is live in our studio with more.
Thanks, Angela. There are between 2 and 4 million concussions per year in the United States. Most of those injuries are to high school football players. That's a lot of underdeveloped adolescent brains taking a blow, and research is showing that repeated blows can mean serious problems, even death. The collisions are sometimes violent.
I was just pass blocking and a guy was blitzing and we went helmet to helmet and I seen a black light and I fell down. I got back up. I made sure I knocked another guy over, of course. Had to destroy him, and it was another helmet to helmet, and I played 2 more possessions after that, and after that I wasn't right.
Roger Bunce is a 16-year-old football player from Eastern High School who, because of a few hard hits, can't remember last week's game.
I didn't know where I was, sensitivity to light, drowsiness.
A concussion is an injury that occurs when the brain slams into the skull.
We do have instances where kids or athletes will suffer for a prolonged period of time, and sometimes very, very rarely, indefinitely.
For teenagers, concussion effects last longer, meaning a longer time out of the game. At Athens High School, even a suspected concussion means the player must sit on the bench.
First, we'll go on the field and do an immediate assessment, make sure that they're conscious and they can tell me what happened. If they're comfortable getting off the field, we'll take them over to the sideline and we'll start with asking questions about what happened, where we are, who they are, who I am. The player is never allowed back on the field during a game if he shows any signs of having a concussion, and the student may be referred to a doctor.
This is just a 2.5-inch foam pad, and it creates an unstable surface for a kid to be tested on. And we test them in 3 different positions. We test them, basically standing on the pad, feet together, and then we do a tandem stance, 1 foot in front of the other, and then we do a one-legged stance. We time there for 20 seconds.
Football helmets are sufficient to protect against many injuries, but experts say they're not always enough to protect a player from a concussion. That's because there are other ways to get a concussion besides being hit in the head.
Like a whiplash injury, if you have a strong enough impulse being transmitted through the rest of the body, through the head and neck, it's going to result in the same thing.
The good news is, Chappell says concussions have only short-term effects, lasting 3 to 10 days if the patient truly gets over the concussion.
Soreness in the neck, that's about it. Can't remember the game still.
And for some students, suffering from a concussion could mean getting out of their next test.
We usually will have them with teachers' notes that have them relax during school, and they won't be participating in.
Just don't get too many concussions.
No matter the degree, if it's a mild or severe concussion, the next one is never better. So concussions are progressive, so you become more susceptible to a concussion once you've had one.
A recent study of former NFL players shows these athletes are prone to dying from brain disease, which might mean repeated blows to the head may be more dangerous than many realize. 38 states have passed laws similar to those in the NCAA that demand high school players to sign a waiver before playing, taking a vow to disclose any concussion-like symptoms if they show any. At the moment, there's no such law in effect in Ohio or West Virginia, but there is one in the works in the Buckeye State that would mimic the concussion provisions of the NCAA. To view the bill in its entirety online, you can always visit woub.org. Taylor Poole, WOUB News.
Thank you, Taylor. Symptoms of a concussion include dizziness and balance problems, nausea, confusion, memory problems, feeling sluggish, sensitivity to light or noise, and sleep problems. Dr. Chappell and Link agreed the best thing to do after concussion is rest both physically and mentally. Coming up on Newswatch, there's a new study predicting that Ohio counties are getting older. We have a live interview with the director of the Area Agency on Aging.
And unrest from religious extremists in the Middle East continues following the attack on the U.S. ambassador to Libya. and how reaction to a web video is causing overseas riots. Next on Newswatch.
Before you make your choice, watch The Choice 2012 on Frontline, coming in October, only on PBS.
How's it going, football fans? The arrival of Week 4 means that some of our most thrilling matchups are on the way. Our Game of the Week features a rematch between Jackson and Athens. Last year, the Ironmen dominated the Bulldogs in the first round of the playoffs by a score of 27-7. We're also heading out to Albany to select the lucky member of the Alexander crowd to be our next Fan of the Week. So be sure to meet us there and tune into our show Friday night at 11:30 right here on WOUB. Because remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights